Oh, no questions. No, no, no. Don't you dare think you can question me. Well, even though the British Prime Minister took questions, you just heard Biden's staffers interrupt British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in the middle of a thought. He was responding, but then they ushered him out. Not only was that disrespectful to the Prime Minister, it's not normal. You don't interrupt the speaker and get people out. They wait till they finish their thoughts. This administration clearly goes to any lengths possible to prevent media access to the president. And the media, frankly, are happy to go along for the ride. Let's bring in the host of the Gorka Reality Check, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, to weigh in on this. How are you, Seb?
Good. Is it somebody's birthday soon, Sean?
Oh, well,
it is someone's birthday soon.
It is.
That is right. That is
right,
accurate.
Yeah. It's
whose birthday?
Lyndsay
Whose birthday, Sean?
It's Lyndsay's today. She gets she's the warm-up act.
Yeah, I'm the
and
opening
then I
act.
have the old, anyway.
Sean's
Happy birthday.
He eats what people come for.
Well, I'll let Lyndsay. She gets all of the birthday wishes today.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Seb.
Let's speak on, but tomorrow
it's all about Sean. Yeah, I want to be here.
So listen, I gotta think that Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he comes over here, he just got snubbed by the fact that the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan without even giving him a heads up. And instead of building back relationships and being like, hey, thanks for coming, whatever, they kind of snub him and disrespect him by doing this in the middle of him trying to reply to the press. I keep thinking to myself, they snubbed South Korea today by not being at that repatriation ceremony we talked about yesterday. They snubbed France by not talking about this. I don't get it.
Well, of course you get it. I mean, think about it. How open was our Trump administration, the administration we served in? I mean, think about it. We worked for a guy, for a commander-in-chief, who would stop on his way walking on the South Lawn to Marine One and just give impromptu press conferences, taking unscripted questions for 20 minutes from the fake news industrial complex in the press pool. They knew, for various reasons, it's not just a snub to Boris. I think they did it for a very good reason. They didn't want anyone to ask Biden about the submarine deal, which involves the UK and which resulted in the first time in our republic's history, the French recalling their ambassador because Biden didn't tell them that he's going to, double cross them. So it's like 9/11. Could you imagine if President Trump were the president for the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and he went to the key sites but didn't give a speech? There's only one reason, because they know that somebody may shout at Biden and say, why did you betray Afghanistan? What are you doing about the border? The idea that this man has to be hidden from the press and the American people tells you just how illegitimate the Biden regime truly is, Sean.
Yeah, I do want to bring in Stacey Washington as well, who is the host of Stacey on the Right. Stacey, welcome back to the show. As we discuss this, the media, they really kind of just sit back. They do ask the questions. Do you think there's going to come a point when you see outrage from the mainstream media over their lack of access from President Biden, to President Biden, rather?
No, because they're his lapdogs. He owns them. They're not going to complain. They'll say a few little things on their shows. They may comment, but wide-scale outrage, like the kind of outrage we've seen when other outlets weren't given access, like Newsmax, like other outlets that we know that are big and consequential, like yourself, I don't think so. They know who gives them the cookies in the briefing room, and that's Jen Psaki and the Democrats.
That's right. That is beautiful. By the way, guys, huge breaking news today. Remember the Hunter Biden story that the New York Post had out right before the election last year that was called misinformation? It needed to be censored. Well, Politico today confirmed that the leaked emails from Hunter Biden are genuine. Seb, can you possibly believe this? That it was actually true? Oh, my goodness.
Wow, so they're only a year late. That's such amazing journalism. And, this is the same story, by the way, that the social media fascists like Mark Zuckerberg, like Jack Dorsey, actually censored. You weren't allowed to repost the story about the Hunter Biden emails from the New York Post that, by the way, was founded by Alexander Hamilton and is the oldest newspaper extant in America. But now they're admitting it. So what does that mean? Does it mean they want to get rid of Sleepy Creepy? Or does it mean that they just think, it's irrelevant? You know, this whoring, crack-smoking guy who's in bed with the Chinese Communist Party, doing deals with China. The story doesn't matter anymore. Whichever way you slice it, it just means these people are utterly, morally bankrupt.
Yeah. Stacey, to that point, does Twitter owe the Post an apology, do you think?
Oh, not just Twitter.
Of course they do.
Well, anyone who shared it.
Yeah, right. Decent people are owed apologies because it wasn't just the New York Post that was censored on this. But the reason they can issue this correction now is because it's too late to matter. The election already happened, and millions of Americans who wouldn't have voted for him did. So they've gotten what they wanted, and now they're saying, oh, by the way, to protect our integrity and our legacy over time, we're going to go ahead and issue this correction. It means diddly, and their reputation, in my opinion, is shot. They can't be trusted. And I don't know why we give them everything that we give them. Like, we should all be leaving their platform en masse, but it is the means of communication that is now as ubiquitous as the phone. And so, you know, they should be declared a utility, and we should all get to do whatever we want. But that's me.
Exactly, 100%. Stacey, on the right is right on this one. I'll tell you the bigger thing is that not only did they suppress the story, but they made the Trump team look so nefarious. So it was actually bad for Biden, but somehow got spun as, oh, this is Trump's team putting out misinformation, which is, you know, even worse. They owe a lot of people apologies. We'll never get them. But Stacey and Seb, on behalf of Twitter and everyone else, I'll apologize to you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Happy birthday, guys.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.